everyone. I want to share my progress from the last week and the thing I am focusing on and trying to teach myself through my everyday practice of meditation. So it's said that our consciousness actually travels from the past life to the present life to the future life, and the being, the matter, which currently is this for me, and whatever we all are sitting in for, our each respective self, is actually left behind and it gets destroyed, and that creates a lot of miseries. It they say that in Buddhism that there are, no one escapes suffering of old age, birth, sickness, old age, and death. So it's said that when one is born a human being, so one is coming, the consciousness is already coming from its previous physical existence. So I'm not sure right now if I'm at a stage in life wherein I'm ready to believe in past, present, and future life, but that is what the theory is. So it says that we're already coming from a past existence, and when we are born, a lot of misery is generated. That's why all human babies are born crying, like no one comes out laughing. So there's a lot of misery that is created at the time of birth, and the reaction to it, which is the sankhara in the language of vipassana. The sankhara is the misery that that the process of birth creates, the reaction that the process of birth creates, which is crying, which is yelling, shouting. So and similarly, the process of aging, the process of sickness, and the process of dying, wherein the physical matter, where our consciousness resides, decays, and a lot of diseases enter, and there are a lot of like organic changes which are negative, which are not positive changes, and that have to happen to even the healthiest of person alive. So these are all things that cause miseries, and all these miseries no one can escape from, and all these miseries come along hand in hand with these reactions that are sankharas. So the meditation basically talks about how how Siddhartha Gautam became the Buddha, is how one, by liberating himself from all these miseries. So by liberating, which is actually called enlightenment in this way of meditation. So Gautama, so the process is to stay equanimous towards this misery generated, and that is the only way to kill the existing sankhara which we are carrying from our previous physical existence, or existence in this birth, and the years that we have lived till date in this birth, and to not generate any more sankharas. So for example, so we have like these senses, these five senses, and then the sixth sense, and then if you study Buddhism deeply, so they also talk about like the ninth level of consciousness. But whatever senses, the usual senses we can feel, and the sixth sense we have, and the intuition, so all of these are meant to coincide or collide with objects in our physical environment that create misery, that create sankhara. So the only way to liberate ourselves, and the only way to sharpen our mind further, is when you're watching it, when you're looking at the pain as a third person, or sometimes they call it as a research scientist, that this is happening. Okay, I'm not going to do anything about it. It is an experiment that is happening, but I'm just going to observe it. I'm just going to like let this come in my knowledge that this has happened, this misery has arisen, and this sankhara has arisen, and not react, not feel aversion towards it, or if it's a good thing, not feel more, not feel that kind of craving to have it more. So that is when it's said that you eradicate those sankharas. So what we are doing in this process till we feel the strongest that we can feel in this existence through meditation, is that we are killing these, we are eradicating these sankharas, we are eradicating these reactions. So we keep on sitting, we keep on observing whatever is happening in my body without reacting, and we are, every time we're not reacting, every time we are equanimous towards every sensation that's arisen through any of my senses, I am eradicating that particular sankhara. So even if like I'm completely equanimous towards one thing, the thing could repeat itself, because like we have a whole like big kitty of sankharas, as I said, from the years of this life and the past life. So one after other, the defilements will come up, one after other, the misery will show up, and one after other I'll have to sit equanimously towards that misery, and that's when I eradicate it from my system. That's when like it will not come to me again. So further, on the other hand, if I am Mr. Goenka often like talks about this, like gives this example. So for example, we have this sore, okay, and we know that we shouldn't scratch it, because if we scratch it, it will maybe leave a mark that's permanent on the skin, or it will, for now it will, like the sore will become bigger if I keep on scratching it. But if but what my mind is telling me, the sore is right now itchy, I want to scratch it. Scratching it right now will make me feel good. Like it will to a certain extent like satisfy my feeling, my sensation. So that craving of like to scratch the sore, to create more sankharas is big. If I do that in the moment, if I don't sit equanimous towards the sensation, it is what my body and mind wants. It is the easiest route to feel happy right now or satisfied right now. But if I sit out of my body and I look at it as a sensation, and just not scratch the sore, that is when it heals eventually. That is when that particular sankhara gets eradicated. So that's how I think it's that's how like we teach our minds to become better, and we sort of like eradicate all the things that are not supposed to be in the system, and walk on this path that actually is a happier path for all of us. So the key is anicca. The key is to stop the creation of sankharas, to really stop the scratching of the sore. And the sore only gets eradicated once we stop the scratching, once we are completely equanimous and we completely stop eradicating. The sore might like lead to like maybe like a lot of pus, and still we stay equanimous, still we the sankharas which already are inside have to keep on coming out, but we have to keep on sitting equanimously to them. And that's how it ultimately, that's how the the mind eventually like becomes free of misery. And that's what the technique is about. Thank you.